I'm going to say this is another example of a wood that's been finished with burnishing cream. Yeah, we're quite close to the Cornish border. We're about 7 miles from the Cornish border and about 1.5 miles from the sea.
Beautiful.
Which was the reason I came here. I did a year's training with a very, very good teacher who was an old man in South Devon. Very bright man. He'd been a research chemist before the war with ICI. Now, after that, I had been working on my own for only about 2.5 or 3 years, and I moved here. And this young man who'd been thrown out by somebody else, by another teacher, came and said, "I want you to teach me." And of course I said, "Oh, I can't do that, I only learnt 3 years ago." But he assured me that he couldn't find anywhere else to go and he was prepared for us to have a go.
Yeah.
So eventually he persuaded me, and he was very interested and influenced by the Krenov books, the first 2 Krenov books. And of course, in revisiting all the basic technique that I had learned, we found that a great deal of that first Krenov book was extremely relevant. And finding a place with a suitable workshop actually proved much more difficult than I thought. I looked at a lot of fairly radical ideas. I looked at a railway station where I could have had a very long swimming pool, very shallow. I looked at a roundhouse. I looked at redundant chapels where I thought I could live upstairs and work downstairs, but I'm not sure if the planners would have liked that. And eventually I saw this time that I preferred teaching to making furniture.
Interesting.
When my son was born, I was about 31, I decided to make the teaching the main part of the business. And we made the first DVD.
That was the first DVD.
That was the first DVD he made.
Wow.
Or rather his firm made, because it was Wolfgang who did the filming and the editing. So that was Plain Blade Sharpening.
Yeah, I have it. I bought it not long after it came out.
And I've been ever so pleased with them as well.
And that's been a 15-year relationship now?
I would think so.
In that ballpark?
Yeah, I would think so.
Isn't that incredible? Universal. Speaking of this, I just watched this just recently actually, and I really enjoyed it. You guys, if no one knows this, you should check this one out, The Secret Miter Dovetail, David's newest DVD with Lee Nielsen. It's 168 minutes.
Yeah, the next one's about the same.
Yeah? So
this drawer making and fitting
here we go.
This
is a scoop for
roughly the same length without half of the dovetailing.
Yeah.
I show how I cut the tails on my favourite bandsaw.
Really? But what it enables me to do is now I've ground it down to a 20-degree bevel.
Oh, really?
On the shooting, so a skewed 20-degree iron.
And it holds up?
For a week it holds up. It's like magic on the shoot.
Planing what?
Walnut, cherry,
Right.
domestic
Right,
Canadian, domestic hardwood, nothing, no exotics. I don't need rubber.
Well, I am surprised. Most of the things that for my lifetime were sort of taken for granted in plane tuning, like those from Hoadley, are a bit up in the air now, because they say that the way to avoid tear out, and I've tried this and it works, is to have a front edge of chip breaker at about 70 degrees, to set it 0.04 of an inch away from the edge of the blade.
How many?
4,000 sheet of paper.
It's a sheet of paper. For anybody watching that doesn't know this joint, you're going to have to find out the details from David's books. But it's very interesting. It's an impossible joint, or so we may think by looking at it. Very well done.
Dust off.
There's that Barnsley double through tenon that I looked at yesterday. It reminds me. And did Alan not study?
He did a lot of this. Oh yes, he did his training in the Barnsley workshop.
So there you go. No coincidence.
7 years, I think.
Wow. What species is this?
It's yew.
This is yew.
English yew.
So much history of 30 years of being here, right? Up along the walls. And it's a beautiful.
Well, I'll show you something else. Sorry, I'm trying to find the odd thing to show. This handle is lovely. That unexpected curve in that handle.
Ebony.
I think it's Sri Lankan ebony or something.
I don't know. It's a real.
I wouldn't want a big dovetail coming up through my bench top here, because that surface is never going to be flush. Oh, it might be flush twice a year.
Yeah, yeah. No, these are.
So I don't know. These are based on. There was something called the Rural Industries Bureau back in the 50s in England.
Yeah.
And these are based on them.
Just their workbenches.
But I ended up putting a split top on.
So handy.
Which is fantastically useful.
Yeah, that's nice.
Very pleased with those.
Yeah, very nice.
Sort of modification of Krenov.
Yeah.
We thought Krenovs would fill with dust. So we made those slightly differently.
They work.
I mean, that's no coarser than a dovetail saw, I would suggest. Can't let this pass without mentioning it.
Oh yeah, I can't even. No, the ruler technique.
Technique, yes.
The ruler technique.
I don't know why I polished the rest of it. Waste of
Tell,
time.
when did the eureka moment of that? Was it you fell off the toilet and hit your head on the?
No, I'll tell you exactly when it was. There was a moment, I don't know, it was late 70s or early 80s, when Japanese tools became available in this country for the first time. Mm-hmm. And I got a 6,000 grit polishing stone, and I was trying to work on the back of a plain blade, and it was sticking all the time. And somehow it came to think about, why don't we just raise it up a little tickle?
Yeah.
Although I'm also not sure that there wasn't a hint in Leonard Lee's book on sharpening.
Interesting.
He was a great chap.
David, it is a pleasure to meet you, and thank you for welcoming all of us into your shop here in beautiful South Devon, was it?
North Devon.
North Devon. All right. See you guys. Make every day a masterpiece.